Hi class, my name is Julie Ortiz and my presentation today is about transgender sex workers. First, I'm going to introduce some terms before I start talking about transgender sex workers. The first term is sex. In order to define the term sex, we have to refer it to the biological concept and definition of male or female. In other words, when a child is born, his or her sex is determined by observation of the external genitalia. Gender is a social concept related to socialization of children. Gender identity refers to one's own sense of one's own maleness or femaleness, or both or either. Gender expression. Imagine that we project out or signals that we give. Gender role refers to others' perception of us in terms of gender. Sexual orientation. Sexual orientation has to do with the objects of our attractions. Then we have the term trans people. So this is important to point out because historically there has been a misconception that a transgender person has to be heterosexual. But now, today we are learning that transgender people can be heterosexual, homosexual, or bisexual. Transgender term is commonly used as an umbrella, and under this umbrella we find cross-dressing, people who don't seek permanent change in their anatomical sex, and also we find transsexual. In contrast with cross-dressing people that don't want to seek a permanent change in their anatomical sex, transsexual people, they are seeking a medical or surgical treatments to change their anatomical sex. So now with these terms, we are going to introduce a transgender person. Transgender person is one who rejects her birth assigned gender and who wishes not to live in, who may seek to live socially as a person of other gender, and who may seek to change her body so that it conforms. So sex work. Sex work is a broad term that describes the changes of sex or sexual activity. Sex work term is also used as a non-stigmatizing term for prostitution. Under the sex work we find pornography or exotic dancing, exchange of money for sexual services, and also sexual activity, that is the exchange of sex or sexual activity for food, housing, hormones, drugs, gifts, or other resources. And also we find survival sex. Survival sex term is used by many non-profit organizations and research to describe the trading of sex survival. Also, it is important to acknowledge that not every person in the sex trade defines themselves as a sex worker or their sexual exchange as a work. Using the term sex work reinforces that sex work is a work and allows a discussion that could focuses more on labor rights and conditions. Okay, prevalence. Data from the National Survey estimates the population size of transgender people in the United States. This data estimates that the number of transgender adults significantly increased over the past decade. This data is most commonly among the young people in the United States. Characteristics. The National Transgender Discrimination Survey examined the experience over 6,400 transgender adults across the United States. In 2008-2009, this was the largest report survey of transgender people in the United States, and the most commonly characteristics found among this population were discrimination, poverty, unemployment, homeless, negative interaction with police, incarceration, and violent victimization. Legal definition. Transgender sex workers report high levels of incarceration with police. Those who appear in court, transgender people engaged in the sex trade were also more likely to report biased treatment by judgment and court staff. They also report mistreatment as well as physical assault at the hands of police. People of color were more than twice as likely than their white counterparts to report being arrested for being trans. 58.8% of people of color and 35.2% of respondents reported being sent to jail for any reason. Okay, factors related to diversity. An overwhelming majority of 69.3% of sex workers reporting experiencing an adverse job outcome in traditional workforce, such as being denied of a job promotion, being fired due to their gender identity or expression. Also, they were denied access to a shelter, they were thrown out of the shelter, they were physically assaulted, and they were sexually assaulted by staff. They were harassed by correction staff. Correction staff also denied access to hormones, medical care. Incarcerated sex workers also were subject to physical assault by other inmates. Participation in the sex trade among people of color and Hispanics or Latinos is higher compared with Asian or American Indian or Alaska Native transgender population. Okay, criminogenic needs. The more common needs among the transgender populations are due to poverty, medical and mental disability, legal problems, lack of social or family safety, risk of unemployment and homeless. Medical and psychiatric needs are serious interrelated problems faced by transgender populations. Due to these factors, the most urgent needs among these populations are healthcare, shelter and transitional housing, individual and group therapy that includes family and opportunities to improve socioeconomic conditions. Unfortunately, the rejection from families, friends, and society places transgender in many vulnerable positions. Okay, physical and mental measures. Unfortunately, people who trade sexual services for money, goods, food, shelter, housing, or other resources face many obstacles when gaining access to health and social services. Findings from the National Transgender Discrimination Survey report numerous disparities in health measures regarding transgender. Respondents reported high rates of mistreatment in medical settings. So, what has been done to treat these populations? The most common treatments are administration of hormones or surgery, female to male or male to female, breast removal to flatten the chest for both male and female, ovarian surgery, genital reconstructions. The current treatment. The most common treatment is the cognitive behavioral therapy because it has been established that it has an effective form of treatment for social anxiety and disorder. So, research. What works? What works in this population is education, safe environment, dignity, safety, and respect. Policies, practice, and programs that are relational and promote health connections to children, families, significant others, and the community. Treatment that focus on substance abuse, trauma, and mental health issues through the integration of relevant services and supervision. Measures of treatment outcomes. Integration between psychologists, doctors, and counselors. Establish a system of communication, supervision, and reentry with comprehensive collaborative services. What I will do, I will try the specific treatments such as cognitive behavioral therapy, family therapy that include family skills training, parenting training, family training programs, strategic family programs, functional family therapy, and multi-system family therapy. I think that the most important step is to address the transgender challenges early in their lives as a method of prevention. So class, thank you for watching my presentation. I hope that it provides you like better information about transgender populations. Thank you.